Hello and welcome. In today's video, I want to talk about bringing you the idea of why you might be doing the no buy challenge wrong and how to make sure you come out successful out of it. And also I want to propose some deep soul-searching questions when it comes down to consumerism, as well as give my updates on no buy January because it's finally over. It's been such a long month. It was like the never-ending Monday. In theory, if you tell yourself this is new year, new me, I'm done spending, I'm not gonna spend another dollar, I'm gonna save so much money, I'm not even gonna know what to do with myself. No more stupid purchases. It does sound really good. In theory. Now, what about in practice, in reality? I read so many posts on Reddit and on Facebook and on TikTok, posts of people who are basically trying to do no buy challenge to cut back their spending. And they say, I feel so guilty, I feel so ashamed, so terrible because I'm on day 3, 2, 5, whichever day they're on, and they're like, I already broke my no buy. They say things like, I just cannot give up my shopping addiction, even though it's ruining my life. And I think it's because a lot of people think that in order to complete and have a successful no-buy challenge, all you need to do is just print out a calendar page and mark every single day that you do not spend the money. However, if your approach is to merely just get through the days, get through the months, wait it out, and then maybe let yourself spend a little bit, by restricting yourself and by having this super scarcity mindset, you might be approaching it wrong. Just because once the month is over, or even you're in the middle of the month, you just feel so deprived. You know that the shopping will be the only fix for all and will give you the dopamine rush and hit that you've been seeking. Your desire to shop will only increase. And then you're gonna find yourself in a position, but worse, you might even go completely black out and spend even more just because you can say, well, I spent 5 days of no shopping, now I can spend even more. And basically just completely end up in a worse position than when you started. What I'm really trying to say is that in order to have a truly successful no buy month or no buy year, not only do you need that little tracker to mark off the days when you don't buy anything, you also have to do a lot of deep-rooted inner work and to find the actual reasons, the actual problems of why you are spending the money, why you're using it as a coping mechanism to stress, to boredom, to anything else that may be going through your life. And as you're doing those together, as you are working through your life's personal issues, your maybe inner child money traumas, and then you're combining it with kind of delaying that gratification of buying, only then will you see the results, and only then you will actually be able to fix your spending habits, develop better coping mechanisms, and just overall find more success in it. Let me put it in sort of a little bit of a graph. This is how a no-buy cycle might start. First, you get a lot of motivation because you see other people doing it and you just feeling like you're done with consumerism. The next thing, it leads to starting a challenge, setting your own rules, and also probably still feeling tempted. The next step might lead to buying things and feeling guilty and possibly just feeling like, I just cannot do this, and giving up too early, or basically throwing the whole year away. Well, just because I bought something on January 2nd, 2025 is done. Which eventually can lead to giving up. And at that point, it might just completely stop. Unless, you just continue getting into this whole decluttering, minimalist, simple living, no-buy challenge content, and then you see other people doing it, and then boom, it leads you back to where you started, which is gaining some motivation to do this again. Or you just check your, card balance, and you're like, yep, I need to do a no-buy challenge this month. And this cycle can continue on and on and on until you insert other things in between those to basically help yourself better cope with the situation. The biggest difference between me in my early 20s and just wanting to spend, and now in my late 20s is not necessarily that I have better self-restraint, which I do, and I probably did get it out of my system, but it's also a lot of inner mental work that I've done. So me back then and me now is the same person, but with healed childhood money traumas. The next thing I want to do in this video is I want to propose a few deep soul-searching questions that I'm going to put up on the screen. You can pause the video and rapid fire answer them or screenshot them and do your journaling later. And obviously this is not going to solve all of your problems right away, but this is a start. And obviously if you do have a lot of money issues and money traumas, you definitely need to be working with a professional. I am not a professional. I'm just on this journey as well, sharing my tips as I go. But these are the questions that I was asking myself at the beginning of my path that I kind of dug out from my earlier journals, and I wanted to share with you guys. First question you need to ask yourself is, what emotions drive me to shop? Emotional shopping is often linked to coping mechanism, to loneliness, sadness, depression, or even excitement. Start paying attention when you feel the biggest urge to spend. The next question is, what is your relationship with money and spending? How did your parents manage money? What did they teach you about money? And obviously you can answer these questions as short as you want in just one sentence. But this could also be paragraphs upon paragraphs, novels upon novels. The way you're raised, the way you grow up, you often do either revert to the ways that your parents taught you on how they lived or kind of steer completely in opposite direction. Here's a few more questions for you to reflect on. How do I feel before, during, or after a purchase? What's the last purchase I made? And we often forget about things we buy just because it's so casual to just go and spend money. But really start reflecting on every single thing that you bring from your car trunk into your home. How many items currently in my home do I not remember purchasing? There's been some studies done that apparently average American has over 300,000 items in their home. So obviously, how can you even physically know or remember everything that you own? Whatever you put in your junk drawer, you probably forgot as soon as you threw it in there. The next question is, how much do I compare myself to others when it comes down to buying things or owning certain items? Now, this is a big one because it could be a status thing, it could be keeping up with your neighbor, your friends, and this could affect your shopping habits as well, even though your financial situation might be completely different from the people you're trying to keep up with. The beautiful thing about aging is that eventually you just completely stop caring what other people think, and you just completely do not care about what other people do. You just kind of set yourself on your own path. And the sooner you realize it in terms of finances, that you do not need to impress anybody because those people don't even care, the sooner you can get your finances in order. The next question is, what do I regret buying? I'm sure a lot of us have various regrets, even if we just wanted to try a product and it just didn't turn out. So then that $30, $50, $70 is kind of a waste, especially if you cannot return it, obviously. The next one is, what could be my coping mechanisms with stress if not shopping? What will add more lasting value to my life? Who in my life supports my desire to change my consumerist habits? And how can I lean on them for encouragement? Now, this one is very important, and I would say Reddit community, you can subscribe. There's two subreddits, one called No Buy, another called Anti-Consumption. And you just make a post basically saying that you're at your lowest. There are going to be people who live in obviously different places who will support you, because your immediate group of friends or people you know might be even worse spenders than you are. These are just the most, basic questions that help you kind of look deeper into what's hiding behind your shopping habits. But of course, it takes so much inner work, you guys, to actually dig and dig and dig until you basically find that thing that is holding you back, that is kind of ruining your finances. I actually finally found a therapist who kind of specializes in, childhood money trauma in general. But because she was able to listen to the stories from my childhood that I told her and how they affected me and how I basically took those certain traumas and situations into my future life, and she was able to intently and obviously with her professional degree or whatever ask me deeper questions. I was just speechless, shooketh, honestly. I feel like I'm gonna be under consumption final boss because it's not gonna have any effect on me. I'm my own person, staying in my lane, having clear goals. No ads or influencers can ever influence me to go and spend money. To wrap up, I wanted to talk about how no spend January went, and check out my playlist on just no buy year, because I will be probably giving updates maybe every month, maybe every other month. This month I did exceptionally well, simply because I think there was still a little bit of that dopamine wearing off after Christmas, but also because it's just been so cold that I just didn't feel like leaving the house an extra time. And didn't feel like shopping. I did buy 2 things, and I'm gonna show you them, that were kind of borderline, like you kind of need them, but was it breaking a no buy? So these are the only 2 things that I bought this month that were not groceries or bills. The first thing is a can opener. It was $10. It's really cute. I love how it's pink. And it was a game changer for opening cans because the previous one was just so rusty and falling apart. The second one is this brush for $3. When I saw it, I was like, I still have another brush at home in the sink. Why should I buy a new one? But that one was kind of at the end of its life also. So technically this counts as a replacement, but basically these 2 purchases totaling $13 is everything that I spent in the month of January. That is not groceries or bills, because I'm doing an extreme no buy where I'm just really trying to completely reshift and refocus. And what's so crazy too is that companies want us to shop for the next holiday already. Like, how are you gonna, have everything Christmas on the 25th, and then the next day you go December 26th and everything is already set up for Valentine's Day? And everything is just cheap plastic stuff that ends up in a landfill. I'm not buying any of that stuff. I'm probably gonna reuse my one heart decoration for the next 20 years. If I were to get something for Valentine's Day, my husband's probably gonna buy me flowers, which are biodegradable. It's great. And I'll probably buy him some chocolates because I'm okay with groceries and consumables. And right after Valentine's Day, it's gonna be Easter or whatever the next holiday is. And the shelves at the store, like for holiday, short-lived decor, they're never empty. There's always something, and they just keep doing it earlier and earlier each year. Like the companies and brands, they just cannot wait to get us to shop for the next thing, even though it's not like for another few months. So they're definitely not creating any of that, scarcity mindset because it is just available. I'm pretty sure Hobby Lobby is going to be selling Christmas stuff all year round because anytime I go there, there's like a lot of Christmas stuff any month of the year. February is also a winter month, a cold month, but the beautiful thing about February is that it's just a few days shorter than January. And my goal for February is I will continue with my no buy, but I specifically will be focusing on my relationships. Intentional relationships, friendships, spending time with family, and just kind of focusing more on experiences with friends and family rather than material things. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you took something away. I hope that you feel more motivated, and I hope that you're able to work out through whatever is holding you back from getting better with your finances, from doing a successful no buy year, from sorting everything out and just living a happier and more orderly life. Please subscribe. I'm releasing videos every week, and please leave a comment below for what more content type you would like to see more of. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.